It's another exciting edition of Unfiltered podcast. Welcome to today's edition where we will be looking at refugee participation in the global policy and dialogue. My name is Nyima Jadama. Thank you for joining us. My guest today is an amazing personality, a leader that has traversed across the whole world. She is a human rights activist, an advocate, a researcher, founder, co-founder, leader, and all that you think of. She has founded and co-founded many refugee-led organizations, including the Global Refugee-Led Network, the European Coalitions of Migrants and Refugees, among others. My guest, Shaza Alrihawi, originally from Syria, used to work as well with the United Nations on Human Rights and Refugees. Currently, she works as an assistant researcher with LIFB. More about her, we will know in the next 60 seconds of the Unfiltered Bantaba podcast. Stay tuned. Welcome, Shaza. How are you doing?
Hi, thank you, and thanks for this amazing introduction. It's too much for me.
You know, it's amazing when you were inspired by the work of personalities like you. Kudos to you. Thank you for all that you do. Like I said before we start, for all that you do for humanity, for all the voices you are amplifying, fighting for inclusion and participation, representation, uplifting so many talents, including mine. Thank you for that. Welcome to Unfiltered. How have you been doing?
Yeah, it's so hectic nowadays, you know, so many things going on. Upcoming events is waiting. Great events as a Global Refugee Forum in December, COP28 in November, beginning of December, and many, many other stuff. So we are super packed nowadays.
You're super busy, super back, but super busy. Your schedule is always packed. And trust me, it's always difficult to get Shaza, but I'm blessed. She's always there for me whenever I want to have her. Shaza, you are very instrumental and vocal in the global refugee discourse. Tell us, how did this start?
Yeah, actually, I am a person who doesn't like to be a worker or employee, but I felt like once I start helping others, it gives me a lot. Yeah. It's not a normal work. Once you see the benefit, that impact, the positive impact on people where you support them, you help them, you try to do something good for them, you feel more encouraged. And this is how it started. I was studying in the university, and then some of the nuns come to me and said, we are supporting like SGBV cases, women who is faced with sexual gender-based violence, and we would like to have you with us, supporting us, because we also receiving some Muslim women, and we need someone can help them. And I start that, and since then, I feel like giving is something more than imagine that the inspiring and the satisfying that you got when you give something. This is how it started with me.
Yeah, amazing. I love how you describe this. It's like my grandmother would tell me, be a leader, don't be a boss. And I think you're more of a leader than a boss woman. Interestingly, I mean, you are a gender-based violence expert. You've mentioned this shortly. Interestingly, you used to work for the UNHCR, like I said, before the Syrian civilian war. Suddenly, you became a refugee yourself. I'm like, it's quite interesting. What does this interpret to you? Working for refugees and then becoming a refugee yourself.
Yeah. Actually, it's a funny story, funny situation that I am in, because once I start working in this domain, I felt, I'm always telling my father, seriously, you know what, this is the first time I feel like how it's important to be safe, how it's important to have a home. Yeah. Because once I interact with the refugees in my work, I felt how desperate they are, yeah, and how pleasing we are that we have a home, we have somewhere safe. Yeah. And I was starting thinking about being homeless, being a refugee, This is the first time I start thinking, losing everything and being outside. And I was afraid to be like that. But at that moment, I felt, no, we are insecure. We are okay. Nothing will happen to us. We are receiving all refugees and from other countries, so I'm fine. Out of sudden, all of these things happening in Syria, and I ended up being a refugee myself, where I turned all things in my perspective from being a service provider with the mentality of UN and the expert and the one who knows everything, with like vulnerable people knows nothing. We need to give them everything. Being a refugee with the knowledge, with experience, I know what I want. I know what I need. I just need opportunities. So then I feel like, you know what? I was wrong when I was working with the UNHCR before, maybe, because I thought that those people has nothing. They lost everything when they lost their homes, but actually they are not. And then I start thinking to fight for refugee rights, to be represented by themselves, not by someone else. And this is how the shift I had in my life.
It's like the turning point, right?
Exactly. It's a turning point where you feel like, no, we were doing all things in a wrong way, if I can say. And you know what? You need to listen to those people and just give them the support they needed, the resources they needed, because they know what they want better than us.
It's just like we would say karma is very dangerous when it turned back to you. But here, the karma turns back to you in a very positive way because it wasn't your fault, right? It just happened.
Actually, this is the point. Like, once you think about being a refugee, the journey itself is not easy at all. But also, this journey, if you think about it positively, you will see that it gives you the strength that you never thought about it. I became more leader, if I can say. I became more independent. I am here alone. I make whole journey by my own, while I was so spoiled at my country, with my family, with my people supporting me. Out of sudden, I am here alone. I have to deal with all of these things, people, languages, and all of this careers.
How has it been like dealing with the German bureaucracy? Were you also used to receiving letters, a post? I mean, most of us from the African continent, we would say, it's my first time receiving letters, right? Like having a post box.
Exactly.
You have to check. Is it also the same?
We don't used to have a post in Syria, so we don't have this kind of bureaucracy.
So it's quite interesting and weird, right?
It's two in one. Actually, it's interesting because the first time I have my post, like box, I always see in the TV that people just check their box. I never had this experience before, but now I have it. I have it with a headache sometimes until I got out of the job center. Now no one called me, no one sent me anything.
Do you also have this nervousness of before, I mean, in the zeal process, before you open your post box, you're thinking of, no, I mean, I think it's a different case with the Syrian refugees, but in the within the African that are less privileged, like before you open your post, you are like, you are hoping that the brown envelope or the yellow envelope from BAMF is not there.
No, I was praying to have the yellow envelope because I was waiting for my
obviously, it was going to be positive, right?
Yeah, because I know it's positive, and I had to wait a long time because I applied for asylum in Sweden at the beginning, and I was rejected for 1.5 years. And I came to Germany, and then I had to wait for 1 year. That's why.
Because of Dublin.
Because of Dublin. So I'm trying to experience everything, So I had all the experiences along the journey, and I was praying every day to have this yellow envelope. Please tell me, either accept me or not, but just let me not be in the limbo.
We were praying not to have the yellow envelope.
You see?
Times it's the opposite,
I like
right?
this. This is the point. We are refugees, but we are not in the same situation.
No.
So no one is like...
Privilege and status, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Today we're actually talking about you. your amazing work and all that you do. So we will not be talking about refugees in general. That's a different topic, right? So how is it like, you know, because you mentioned like being spoiled in your own country and then all of a sudden arriving in a foreign country, having to start all over and doing things on your own. How is it like the integration, adapting to the culture, the food, the language and all that? How was the feeling?
Yeah, actually it's not easy. Though I sometimes feel myself I am privileged because I was in a contact with foreigners because of my work with the UNHCR. So my colleague was German and she speaks well Arabic and she will not be happy with me speaking till now bad German. However, so I was in a contact with somehow the culture, but it's not easy to adapting to all of this circumstances around you. Like you will miss your food at the end of the day. You know, at the beginning you say, okay, fine, I can cope with the tomato mozzarella sandwich, which is, I'm getting bored of it. No, I never had this kartoffel salad, never.
Oh my God, you're lucky.
No, I was
those privileged refugees, right? They're so lucky that would have to decide what they eat, not to get the German kartoffel and Wurzeln and...
No,
like you said, the
I was away a little
so
bit. I know how to cook. I also privileged because I am a good cooker.
Okay.
So I cook for myself. But at the beginning, when you are in the camp, it's not easy to have the food and cooking and kitchen shared and so on. And since I am alone, I was depending mostly on pasta or pizza or whatever, the easy things. Till now, I am struggling to figure out where to buy small stuff, like if you need a needle, if you need sewing stuff, I don't know where exactly I have to go. And also, when you need to buy your food, is not always available. Nowadays, Syrian food became more common, so you can find more shops. But before, it was hard because we need to travel from city to another city to just have our food to come back.
Wow.
In my point, it was not easy, but I always thinking about other people because I can ask. I can, even with my bad German, but with the English, I can work on it. But I'm always thinking about these elderly people, with those people who has no like communication with a foreign language before. How struggling is that for them? It's not easy, to be honest. Till now.
So
you want to be integrated with the community, but it's not easy as well. Like I have a colleague.
They didn't accept you?
No.
This one is not our part of ours. It's them, us and them. Do you also have to experience that?
No. Look, from my experience, I have to speak about myself now.
Yes.
From my experience, I never had any discrimination incident, if I can say, even with my hijab.
Bravo, clap for yourself. You mean you never had any discrimination in Germany?
No.
For the past 8, 9 years, or 10 years?
9 years.
9 years.
No.
Amazing. For the first time I'm talking to someone who has zero discrimination.
Yeah, I will tell you why sometimes.
Okay.
I don't remember that I got anything.
Okay.
And also, I am always welcomed with my colleagues in the work or anyone else, even in the street. Sometimes
How do you manage that?
Yeah, sometimes people even smiling when they saw me, and I'm smiling. I think there is 2 things. First, if you have this nervousity about you are not accepted by community, you will give this energy to others, or you will be acting in a different way, or you will receive everything in a negative way.
It's like what you give is what you take back.
Somehow, or maybe I'm not caring if someone look at me or not. That's why if I'm not care, I didn't recognize, then I didn't have any incident because, I don't know, I didn't focus on that. But I heard a lot from other women who said, like, we are with hijab, people are not talking to us or whatever, but I never had this. This is the issue. Second, also, when you are coming with this confident and like smile in your face and respecting the rules, like for example, for myself, I never cross the street when it's red. Not because,
you're German. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm German. Even outside Germany, everyone say, you are German. I say, yes, I have this values.
I was with a German in Budapest last week. it was red, and he was like, come, come. I was like, but you're German. No, just follow me. I was like,
no. No, but actually I'm German in this. So actually what I'm trying to not to break the rules, not because I don't want only, because I am like that, but also because I feel like I have a responsibility. I am a woman with hijab, with Muslim, like with a collar, whatever. So I'm always avoiding doing some stuff that might be stigmatized other people just because of me. You know,
you're calculative, right?
Yeah, this is how I'm dealing with that. And I'm just going outside with a smiling face, and that's it. Who accepted me is fine. You cannot ask everyone to accept you. Even in our countries, we didn't accept each other, you know? Not all of us. But and that's why, in this mentality, I can say I managed to cope with this differentiation. Still, there is something you cannot understand from German, like if you want to go with them sometimes in a meeting or in a rendezvous or like going outside. I will tell my friend, what if we have a dinner? Yes, next February. Well, come on, God, I'm talking about now, not a February. I don't know if I will be alive at that time. So this is something I'm still not okay with that, but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, quite interesting, right? I always learn something new from you whenever we had chit-chat discussions like this. In your statement, you mentioned the significance of inclusion and representation, participation. Why do you think it is really important to include refugee voices in the global perspective?
Okay. I'm always giving this example. Think about, imagine that someone's sick and going to the doctor. Can the doctor imagine what the sick person is suffering from? Just because he's a doctor and the sick people or sick person is just vulnerable in this time?
He had to examine first, diagnose to see.
Yeah, but he has to listen for him first, right?
Yeah, that's why I say
you will not examine everything. If I say I have a problem in my abdomen or stomach, then you will examine my stomach.
Yeah, but you listen first.
First, you have to listen. And this is how I think about it. You cannot decide on what I want. You need to listen to me. You need to engage me in the policies, in the decisions that you will take it over me. So our slogan is nothing about us without us. It's not coming from empty. It's coming because you cannot decide for anyone what they want or what they need unless they share that with you. Now you said we were avoiding this yellow envelope, but for me, I was waiting for that, no? So even someone outsider might be saying, no, we are avoiding. No, we are not all in a one mixing bowl. Everyone is different. There is a lot of differentiation between the community. You have to hear from them. And also when we say we are representing, actually we are trying to bring the voiceless people to the voice of the people to the decision-making platform. But also we are not 100% representing everyone because everyone has his own stuff. But we are trying to bring as much as voices to this table. So to be honest, it's really important because you cannot decide on what people, otherwise is losing the, wasting time, wasting resources, and wasting efforts. At the end of the day, it will not work. And I can give you an example. In UNHCR, we brought chairs, new chairs for the community center for Somalis. And we were super happy because we bring them chairs with a table. And then guess what? No one attended the courses after that.
Why?
And when we asked, they said, come on, God, these chairs is not fitting us.
You didn't ask the type of chair we want.
Exactly. Amazing. And they said, we cannot come into because it's, I don't, we have like a big body. It's not fitting. So I don't know. Then we waste the time, we waste the resources, and they didn't come because of that. So I think you have to engage them with a policy-making decision because it's their life, not our life.
But since when have you started engaging this influencing, let's say, policies on refugees? And since when did they start listening?
Actually, we started in Syria.
Okay.
We have inspiring...
Before you became a refugee?
Yeah, we have inspiring manager at that time, and she said, you know what? We need to have more voices for refugees to reaching out, and we have that project. And we were awarded from UNHCR for that outreach volunteer project, and it was the first project ever. And since then, I felt like it's really important, and that's why I have this idea. And when I come here, I say, you know what, we have to continue in this way. Yeah. So refugees sometimes doesn't feel comfortable to share everything with the UNHCR or with the government because they feel there is authority on it.
Okay.
You know, so sometimes it's easier to reach out with other. Like I can chit-chat with you about my husband like beating me, but I'm afraid to say that to UNHCR. Maybe my file will not proceed to like resettlement, or this is how I think. You know, as a refugee, you always have these things in your mind. So you will be a victim or survivor of GBV issue, and you hide it just because you are afraid about your case. And that's how we start thinking about having like other people who can let us know what to do with those people, and they are reaching through them to the services and support that they need.
You're watching Unfiltered Bantaba podcast. This is a monthly podcast that actually portrays and talk about people with people, amazing people that are, trendsetters. There are breaking barriers in all aspects of life, from migration, leadership, feminism, culture, entertainment, wherever you think. We bring you amazing personalities. And today, one of them is an amazing personality, a global trendsetter, talking to us about her work, activities, and how she is changing the world by making sure that more refugee voices are not just included, but they are meaningfully participating and represented. Shaza Alrihawi is my guest. Follow us on social media, on Nyima Bantaba, to know more about our guests and many more other episodes. Shaza, you have founded, co-founded, led, co-led so many refugee-led organizations. I would say all of the powerful refugee-led organizations across the world. Because if you're reading Global Refugee-Led Network, Refugee Voices, European Coalition, Global Independent, I don't know. You will tell me all of this. But I was like, okay, where do you get your energy from? How do you do all of this?
Yeah, it's not easy. And maybe because I don't have family, so I have more time to work on that and keep myself busy with something. I feel like it's impacting my life in a better way. It's not easy, to be honest, but because I was the first who were in the starting after the declaration, New York Declaration in 2016, December, they said that refugees should be part of the decision over their lives. Yeah. And finally, we have that declaration. Afterwards, in the NGO consultation, 2017, I was with my colleague, the first ever refugees attending there, not the main NGO consultation, because we were not allowed at that time. Refugees are not allowed to be there. But we were in the side event. Yeah. And there, I was talking to my other refugee from Australia, and we were discussing, like, our voices is not heard and no one letting us talk, and it was about participation at the beginning.
Okay, about refugees?
Yeah.
Without refugees?
But No, we were discussing about only the participation, like this is how we started, and then we moved to meaningful participation and so on.
Since when did you move to meaningful participation?
Yeah, because at the beginning it was about being on the table, being in the room. Like we were just outside the room.
Just a field?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we said, you know what?
To fill in the reports that, here are the numbers. Or before it wasn't even there.
No. I wasn't.
Now it's more of numbers, right?
Yeah, today it's more about number, but before we were there.
Organization.
Exactly. We were there with our partner or some organization who believe that refugees should be participating. So we were invited by them. So she were invited by Australian Refugee Council or something, and I was invited by Independent Diplomat and Oxfam, and just for side event. And I was a speaker at that moment talking about the importance of the refugee participation. Mm-hmm. And then we were discussing outside the room that we are here, but they didn't allow us to be in the room.
How did you feel?
It was really like annoying, and you feel like...
And you were patient enough to sit outside and wait?
No, but we had something. We tried to talk to other people, to have allies, to encourage other organization who is ever outside or like around, to talk to them how important is to have a refugee there.
Is it like one of my German friends would say, you know, if you are not part of us, not really us, you always have to have someone like us to pave the way, to influence something for you to get there.
Exactly. So you have to have allies.
Going, right.
Yeah. So we were talking and we discovered that, you know what, like sometimes every NGO has their mandate.
Yeah.
So sometimes someone will not talk about your mandate because they will afraid, or maybe your thoughts is not under their mandate. And I talked to her, I said, you know, what if we have our platform, just refugees? Actually, we lost everything, we have nothing to lose. Let's speak frankly and just ask and request our rights in our way. No one will stop us.
It's just like I would say to some colleagues, like being a refugee is somehow is not bad, right? At some point, it comes up with privileges, and these privileges, you have to use them to get there. Right? This is what you were doing, right?
Actually, sometimes it's not a privilege, but at the end of the day...
I mean, it comes with privileges.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, a refugee is a status, is nothing else. It's just a status. And sometimes it gives some positive impact on your personality, as we said, because it makes you stronger, resilience, and you have to fight for your rights and so on. So this is how it started. And we co-found this refugee-led organization, if we can say.
And what is the Global Refugee-led Network?
No, at the beginning it was a refugee network for refugee voices.
Okay.
And then afterwards...
This was in 2017.
2017. And then afterwards we said, like, we will do, you know what, we are not allowed now to enter. Next year we will bring refugees and we have our summit.
Okay. Aside
the NGO consultation, and we will invite them to be in our summit.
Okay.
Like, not like them.
So you have to prove yourself to them to see, look, I am here, I could do it. Trust me.
This is our problem so far, to be honest. We always have to prove ourselves. I don't know why.
Yeah, because we are not them.
Who's them? Who's we?
Us and them.
Yeah, this is the issue that we are fighting. Like, we are all a human being at the end of the day. As I said, before I was a UNHCR with a VIP like title and so on, and everyone respecting me, out of sudden I became a refugee.
From A to Z, Z to A.
Still I am the same person, but the treat is really different. And then afterwards, when I was...
With former staffs, colleagues.
Once I was here in Germany, I said I am... they thought I am a refugee and they treat me like...
Anybody,
and once I talked to the Heim responsible person, and he was, I don't know, there is something happened. I said, you know what? We are not stupid here. I know the human rights. I know our rules. I know this and that and that and that. I was fighting for someone else. I don't know, something happened. They want to say that it's not allowed and this is allowed, as we are like ignorance and we don't know. I said, no, this is not the rules. I know the rules. I know everything. So I will let them know also. So don't treat us like we are stupid. Yeah. And he was just like asking me, so what you are working, what you was. Yeah. I said, I am a UNHCR staff before I became a refugee myself. Can you imagine the turning point? He just like took me as a porte-clés whenever he goes. Like, this is Shaza, this is UNHCR before. And like, Yesterday, he was just talking to me in a different way, and now out of sudden, he just treats me like...
So you have to be somebody to be able to be recognized, right?
Or you have to have a lot of efforts to prove yourself, which is also, again, I have to be respected.
Isn't that human rights violation?
Is it?
That's discrimination too.
Is it?
And you say you never have discrimination?
No. This is something, no. I'm talking about this kind of actions, which is like just because you are with a hijab or whatever, but some violation, it was happened. Yeah. And you have to fight for it, because I know that people sometimes are not trained. Like when I was seeking asylum, they want to put me with many different men in one room. Oh. And I was fighting for my right. And this is where I want to say and stress about knowing your rights and being strong. Don't accept. Like when I talked to the lady, she was sleeping with the 100 person in one room, in that big room. I said, why you, and she said, I'm super tired, I couldn't sleep. I said, why you accept? I didn't accept, I fight with them. And she said, no, but they didn't. Like,
you were lucky.
No, I'm not lucky. I know, this is the point. I have the knowledge, she doesn't have it. She thought because Germany opened up the place for her, she has to say yes for everything. But for me, it's my rights.
Sometimes you said, no, this is not my right. This is not right. I can't sleep with 100 people, especially men.
Yeah. And
they still say, this is what you get, take it.
No, because the laws say women should be respected. And there is so many law and rules about like women's rights. And also I have this 2 times actually here in Germany, not 1 time. Yeah. Every Heim or camp I was there, they want me to be with others. And I always fighting for 4 hours, 5 hours. I was not giving up. I'm saying I used to work with the UNHCR on GBV issues. I know the rights of asylum. I know the right of women. If woman cannot feel comfortable being with other men, she has the right to have a space for herself with other ladies, and that's it.
So that means they know that it's wrong, but they still do it out of ignorance or out of racial whatever.
Two things.
Why are they doing that?
Either the staff is not trained, like maybe the staff are not trained. You know, when the crisis happens, sometimes you just bring people and ask them to act without even having time to train them. Sometimes, okay, who knows the rules? Fine. Who's not accepting?
Yeah, but 2015, 2016 was crazy, right?
It was crazy. Yeah.
I mean, I could imagine how Germans, how their faces would go red hearing of numbers.
No, it wasn't easy, to be honest. And
yeah, I mean,
this is how you have to think about it. Like, people should know their rights, and I think the knowledge is like vice versa. Also, that people who's working with those issues should be also trained on what is GBV, what is the rights of people, what is the human rights, what is the violation, because sometimes they do something, they don't know that this is violation, maybe.
No, that's violation, human rights and all that is what brings us here, and this is actually what you're fighting for, and it's one of the objectives why all those global networks co-founded by you. Tell us the objective of from the network of refugee voices to the global refugee network and EU Command and so on. Now tell us what is the objective of, let's say, the global refugee network? What do you do? Why?
Actually, it's easy. It's 3 objectives that we have almost in all of them. First, strengthen the refugee-led organization and strengthen the community by providing training and providing the knowledge to let the RLOs or refugee-led organization or woman-led organization knows more about their rights and to give them more knowledge how to deal and how to initiate their work and organization. This is the first one. Second, also strengthen and sharing the knowledge and building. I don't like building capacity because I don't think that, strengthening and sharing capacity also with the stakeholders, because so far we felt, as I also used to work as a UNHCR before, we always feel like we know everything. Yeah. So sharing the capacities
that was the positive side,
is really good
Yeah.
because, again, those stakeholders will know more about what that means, what is the difference between like refugees and different culture, different context. There's so many things. We need to be synthesize about those people and understand the differentiation. Third is advocacy. Advocating for refugee and meaningful participation. Why? Because it's important. We have to be part of the discussion, equal partner, if we can say, to sit and to work together, not only on the meetings as a tokenization, ticking the box, no.
Filling numbers.
Exactly, but from the starting, from co-designing, co-implementing, and co-evaluating programs or projects. So we need to be from A to Z, together, working on building the policies and creating policies for our lives.
Okay, so you mentioned of 3 main objectives. So I would just follow up on the first and third objective. The first one, like strengthening refugee capacities, reaching out to them in their communities. How connected are you to not just RLOs, but individual refugees that really, really need to be informed, that need your support, that need their capacities to be strengthening and get there?
Yeah. Actually, the power of our networks, either the global GRN, the Global Refugee-Led Network, or the European chapter, which is the European Coalition for Migrants and
That's
Refugees.
That's the body for GRN?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the European chapter, if you can say. Our powerful point is that we are a network of networks.
Okay.
So
that's the Global Refugee-Led Network.
Even the European coalition. This is how we work. It's not as a European coalition as only me or whoever. It's everyone come under this. And the membership is freiwillig, if we can say, like voluntarily. Yeah. We have the membership form in our 2 pages, like either GRN or European Coalition. So if you want, as an individual or as an organization, if you want to be a member, you just go and fill this, and that's it. You will be a member, then you will be benefiting from all this like knowledge, trainings that we provide in all of these things. Yeah. We are here, we are trying to reaching out. As we said, we are trying to represent refugees, but not all refugees, because no one can be 100% representative. Yeah. But for example, you are from Gambia. I know you are with us, now you are working with us. If you know any other one, leader from your community, and I'm
working voluntarily, they're not paying me, so that's in case I'm looking for other jobs.
No,
that's a joke. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can just like, this is how we reach out to people. Yeah. Like maybe you can
target certain communities
from the community to bringing
and
people,
so that,
and that's it.
It makes sense because you obviously wouldn't or don't have access to all of these communities.
Yeah. We have our website. We have our page on the social media, Facebook or ever. We have sharing the information. So whoever interested, they can just reach out saying like, you know what, I'm thinking to have a organization, but I don't know how to start. So maybe we can start with them, helping them by registering, by having the knowledge about fundraising and like financing stuff. It's all in the training package. And then like we try to help them to be active member in their community.
So you also talk about like the third objective, like advocacy, training, or sharing knowledge with stakeholders and policymakers as well. Are they listening? How do you get them? Do they allow you guys to train them?
Yeah.
I mean, because if people who are deciding on your behalf without you, do they come down to your level to say, okay, I would be lectured by a refugee. How is that?
Yes.
Do you manage, Shafia?
Yes, we manage. Oh. I will tell you how. Okay, we, as a GRN, during the last GRF 4 years ago, 2019, we pledged the meaningful refugee participation, and it was new. And as I said, the New York declarations insist on including refugees and affected community in the decision making. So some states are really happy to do so, and we have many states already signatory for our pledge. Those states come to us and saying, okay, you said meaningful refugee participation. What that mean for you? Because we don't know exactly what that means. So what we did, we had our guidelines on the meaningful participation, and these guidelines for different stakeholders, for government, how they can meaningfully include the refugees and affected community in their policy debates, for NGOs, for donors, for like other community municipality, for even refugees. So we start with this. And the one who is believing in what we are doing and our signatory minimum, and there is allies as well. Like Germany so far supporting us, but not yet a signatory. But still, we are working
still
together.
Taking their time.
No, but yeah, they are still taking their time, but because they would like to have
now,
it in a perfect way.
Alles muss perfekt sein, yeah?
Exactly. So this is why, because they said, okay, we need to figure out how we can be 100% almost representative.
Yeah, they always need to be
And we said it's not easy to be 100% representative, but at least if you have some refugees' voices and so on, will be good. Actually, in practice, Germany doing an amazing job. They have a lot of delegation of refugees in different events. They are trying to have refugee voices in the municipality. You can see even like now with the voting, there is other refugees coming in the. So there is some achievement, we can say. So how we give training for, because there is some governments and some NGOs and some stakeholders believing that they want to have meaningful participation.
Okay.
And they come to us and asking how we can do that in a better way.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's really good. So we don't have much time, but let's talk about, like I said before, your schedule is packed with activities. You traverse across the globe. You just mentioned about Germany, Germany's participation. You live in Germany, you work in Germany, but more of a global perspective. Now let's come back home.
Okay.
Come back. Let's talk about your engagement in Germany. You were involved with the Action Network of Women on Change, something like this. You're going to tell us. And your research work and so many other things. So that means Shaza is not just traveling globally, like in Gambia, collecting per diems, we would say. She's impacting. I'm not good mouthing. Tell us your work about Germany here.
Yeah. Actually, my official work is like a research assistant, and I think Germany is doing amazing initiative by their research on the integration of refugee children in the German educational system. And it's a long-term study. I thought it's one of the amazing countries can do that because they would like to know where is the gaps and how can improve the integration of those children within the system, the educational system. And I like this, seriously. I feel like Germany thinking in the right way, how they have to fill the gap, what kind of obstacles there, and how they can just overcome that. This is from my official work. It's like part-time job, to be honest. That's why I have this time to do some stuff.
To fly
and
around.
Also, it's flexible.
Yeah, okay.
So also can work from time to time. Yeah. For the Action Network, I was also engaged with the Action Network for displacement women.
Women for Change, right?
Yeah, women as agent of change.
Change agents.
Yeah, change agent. So this Action Network is founded by the German minister PM said. And in 2020, because Germany, after the GRF, they want to do so much more on women issues. So what they did, they are happy to have more political participation for women from affected community.
Okay.
So they ask all those active NGOs and people who actively work to bring their voices from their community.
Okay.
Germany, in this regard, they are supporting different countries. Like it's around 10 countries. They give them money for projects just to enable those women in organization be more active in their community. We are meeting every year, all of us, just like last week. Unfortunately, I was in Wien, so I had to attend like part-time virtually. But it's a time where Germany bring all of those women together, and then we vote for new countries to be funded by BMZ, GIZ as well.
Okay.
And we sit together, we are fighting to change like the policies about women, about GBV issues, more integrating women in their community, more awareness session about their rights, about their, so this is where Germany doing amazing stuff. And I think Germany now will have a pledge in the next, this is what we are working on, to have a pledge in next GRF, next December, on mental health and GBV issues and women issues. So Germany had that side, and they are investing a lot. And I think last year in 2022, they spent like more than 20 million supporting these programs and projects.
Amazing. So you just made mention of GRF, which we are going to talk about, the Global Compact on Refugees that actually happens every 2 years and
4 years.
It's every 4 years. Okay, GRN and the EU, and all the networks you represent are in full gear, sending a delegation of more refugee voices. Tell us, what are you cooking?
Yeah, actually, it's too many things we are planning for the next GRF.
Summarize. We have 10 minutes.
Okay, no worries. So as all of these initiatives working together to amplify the voices of refugees, we are, as a GRN, asking for 10% of the participants from the refugee or from affected community. Hardly we are reaching there, but we're still fighting to have that. The first time ever, refugee-led organization will sponsor refugee-led organization to attend this GRF.
How many refugee-led organizations is GRN sponsoring?
We might be sponsoring 20 RLOs, more or less.
Wow.
But not all of them might be entered the GRF, because the GRF is invitation only, but even though might be 10 of them supported to be entering and having the invitation, the main event. However, why you bring them if they will not be in, right? I will tell you what. Because with other donors like Bush Stiftung, OSF, and Portuguese and other donors, we have the space, we call it the Impact Hub. And there we will bring all refugees around like GRF to come simultaneously. There is something going on in the GRF, but also there is other side events and other stuff going on in the hub, in the Impact Hub. And I think this is also something amazing where like stakeholders also, they will see the work of refugees, and they will see, and for refugees themselves to see as well, the stakeholders who's attending, and also to be informed by them, because they will invite them to come to their events as well. So it's kind of like sharing knowledge. And this is the first time ever that happened, in addition to side events and also being speakers, because we fight to have speakers in the panels from the refugee background, if we can say. So many things is going on, and we are really happy.
Clap for yourself. This is amazing. At least we are getting there. Do you have this feeling that, we're breaking barriers and we're getting there, they're listening, they're including us? It's like taking your seat, man. That's just mine. Let me sit there.
Actually,
if
you look from 2017 till now, whatever we can say, it's not exactly, we're still far from what we want, but it is really amazing, right? Amazing achievement that we did. Before we were 1 or 2, like last GRF we were 60% or maximum 70. It's like 2%. This time, more than 100 refugee-led organizations will be there.
Wow.
In addition to asking governments to bring also refugees with their delegations, so the number reached 200 persons from refugee background, which is like a big achievement if you compare it to last GRF. In addition to that, so many governments are asking to have more knowledge about what the meaningful participation pledge is about and how we can include more refugee meaningfully in our work and so on. So I think we make amazing shift so far.
An amazing shift. We shifted to your action plan now. The year and the European Coalition has an amazing action plan towards the end of the year, a schedule packed with different activities, events, and so on. These include the COP 28 in Dubai, the XCOM in next week, the EU, AA, I don't know, you know better than me. Tell us, in 2 minutes, to summarize it for us, your action plans. What's on the table? What's your next action?
Yeah, actually, next week it will be XCOM.
The report launch of the European Coalition.
Exactly. So XCOM is not for refugees, but even though we are fighting to have a seat there, and I will be there.
It's not for refugees, but it's
about refugees, but but refugees are not allowed to be in the room. So what we are trying is we having other partners who will let us under their name to be in the room, and we are trying to have GRN as a having the
this fight is not over there. You must be very brief.
Yeah. The next.
Are you drinking lots of water? I have water for more energy.
The week after will be EDEX, where humanitarian fund and humanitarian missions are coming together to share what they have and what they did. And we have a panel there, and we are trying to bring the voices of refugees also in the humanitarian aspect, localization and other things to the table. Afterwards, there's COP, and COP we are still struggling to have seat because also it's invitation only. It's not easy to have anyone, but even though we are trying to see how we can manage. And then the GRF itself. For European Coalition, we are trying to have our report launching event next month, and we will have some roundtable discussion during the GRF where all stakeholders will be there. So it will be also something we can discuss more how we can move forward afterwards. And also more roundtable will be in the next year on the report of the European Summit, because we would like to have it on local and national level, so every country can say what they want to work on, so we can move forward in that. For now, this is what I have in mind, in addition to the podcast that we are trying to.
ALEX Berlin would give us a space at the radio to do a podcast.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we've already made the announcement. It's not official, but they will give us, yeah? They're listening. Let's come back to Germany. How do you see the German refugee policy? Are they doing good, bad, balance? What do they need to do? Do they need to buckle up? What's missing, if there is any? Of course.
In which perspective? According to comparing them to other countries, they are doing good, or about themselves, you know?
Let's talk about Germany. Germany, you know, if they push like this, a whole lot of countries would follow. They're big influences.
The issue is that Germany now give up.
Are you sure?
Yeah, a few days ago.
Olaf Scholz.
Olaf Scholz said that, sorry.
Yeah,
Olaf Scholz.
I'm sorry, Olaf Scholz.
Yeah.
Did you give up?
So they are the one who's resisting all of this discriminatory, non-migrants approaches in the EU, and he was the hub, to be honest. And now he just say, okay, let's go with the flow. So
all because of alles muss perfekt sein. Wir überlegen, right? We're thinking about it. We are looking at it. We are working on it.
I don't know.
I love that sometimes. But tell us, what do you think they should need to work on?
I think they did amazing job with the Ukrainian issue. So maybe if they can just do, not for everyone, but at least they can deal with other refugees in the same manner, maybe it will be good, because like receiving more than 2 million refugees from Ukrainian and just integrate them smoothly in the system, that means they can do it.
No wahala. No wahala with Ukraine, but wahala with others. Germany, my country now. Anyways. So
I think the practices is there, just like listen, learn, and that's it.
You know, I love the way you professionalize things, the way you comport as a leader and so on. The thing is, Germany, you are far behind. You need to work hard. Like, come up, man. Sasa, we have 2 minutes to go. Before we go, that would be a different topic about Germany, integration, refugee issues, and so on. If you ask me, oh my God, I think they need to do a whole lot of work to really get there, to really make sure that things should be moving, right? Seriously. Tell us, finally, round it up, your education background, because we sit here and talk about from all those pedigrees and so on, and somebody will be like, hey, but who is she? Where is she from? What did she do? Of course, we say you're from Syria.
Okay.
Summarize this for us.
Okay. So actually, as a background, I have a bachelor degree on the sociology and also master in psychosocial support. And I'm working in Syria with the UNHCR for more than 9 years, supporting refugees, especially the GBV. And also, as a person, I'm always volunteering, working with the shelter of women affected by the violence. And here I am again, a woman supporting the community whenever needed, and also working as a researcher, as I said. Yeah, I am as a normal person who's like coming from his country to another country, have to deal with all of these struggles, but I'm trying just to be positive, if I can say.
In 30 seconds, if you should change 3 things in the world of refugee discourse, what would this be?
Oh, in 30 minutes.
30 seconds.
Okay, it's too hard. Actually, first is equality and justice. I would like to have all people be seen like same. No one...
Not because this is European, this is Syrian, this is...
No. Just because you are a human being, you have to be treated well. To be honest, climate change is really something bad that we need to get alerted for that. So please take care of that, because many refugees will be there just because of that. And third, as I said, women's rights to be more respected.
I was going to ship in a water. Equality, justice for all, not because this one is white European, this one is black European, this one is Haspesian. Justice for all, equality for all, human right, justice, especially for women. That's the final word from my guest, Shaza Alrihawi, Syrian based in Germany, a fighter, a leader, a feminist, and all that you call it. That's all we have for you today on Unfiltered Bantaba podcast. My guests, together we talk about refugee participation in the policy and dialogue from a global perspective, coming down to Germany. My name is Nyima Jadama. Until I come your way next, it's a bye from me. Stay tuned for more episodes. Thank you.